Stacy, can you start the recording?
Yes, it's recording.
Okay, great. All right, welcome. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. It is 9:01. Welcome to the technical support webinar for Read by Grade 3 with the Michigan Department of Education. I'm Brandy Bugni. I'm the literacy manager here. I'm sure we've got a few literacy consultants on as well. This is the first of 3 of the same webinars. So if you see that there were 3 on the list, we're going to repeat the same webinar. And our hope is to connect all of your questions and pull them together and put it, create it into a frequently asked question document that then gets shared out to the field. So that not only would you be able to jump in on a webinar, but also you'd be able to reap the benefits of all the questions that have been answered and see those answers in a document that will go out to the field via email and also be posted online. So you don't have to join the next 2 webinars if you're on this one, I guess, to say the least. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so this webinar is going to cover these topics. That the Read by Grade 3 law is in effect this year, fully in effect at this point. We'll talk about individual reading improvement plans. Then we're going to talk about some of the assessments. We've been getting a lot of questions about assessment, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the assessments that are connected with the Return to Learn benchmark law as well. Return to Learn law and the benchmark assessments, there's some overlap, so I will cover that. And we'll talk about the reporting requirements of the Read by Grade 3, and then we'll do a question and answer. So please save your questions to the end. If you have a hard time remembering, you can go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we have Stacy monitoring that, and she'll make sure she lifts any questions that are answered. We do want to do a really thorough job of connecting questions and collecting them so that we can put those into that FAQ. So again, hold to the end, or if you just can't, you know you're not going to remember it, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, so let's start with individual reading improvement plans. We've had some questions about these. The full law is in effect. Last year, we did not administer the M-STEP, and so the retention portion of the Read by Grade 3 law was not in place. But this year, we don't have a firm answer on the M-STEP yet, and nothing in an executive order from the governor has changed the fact that our Read by Grade 3 law is in place. But we have had some questions about, you know, with the back to school being some virtual, some face-to-face, some both, how do we address individual reading improvement plans? So I'm just going to reiterate some of these things that are probably already existing in some of our Read by Grade 3 guide and some of our other communication. But just to assure you all, districts do have a lot of autonomy around the individual reading improvement plans. They exist so that we can make sure that our kindergarten through 3rd graders get the instructional supports they need in literacy to be successful, right? So beyond that, how that happens is a lot of decision making on the district on their autonomy. We know that in the first 30 days, we have to do an assessment, some kind of screening using the assessment systems that are within your districts to determine if there are any, as the law says, reading deficiencies. But the way you use your assessment system and how you determine if a student needs an individual reading improvement plan is very much up to you. While MDE does not collect those reading improvement plans, you do need to document the progress that the child has made, and you do need to keep track of that documents. Some folks have asked, should we put these in the CA60? Yes, you should put them wherever they make sense in your district so they can pass from one teacher to the next. And so you have a really great record of what's been done to help the student in their literacy learning. And you do still have to make those family contacts. The family contacts, while maybe we're not doing traditional face-to-face conferences. It could be a text message, it could be an email, it could be a letter sent home, it could be a phone call, it could be a combination of all of those things and something else really creative that you do, but some kind of connection with a family. And again, the purpose is because we want the families involved with their students' learning, and that you're just keeping them up to date with the work that you're doing with their child. So understanding that's going to look different as we're not all in the classroom together with students, but that it's still part of the law. So thinking creatively about how you make that communication happen. Assessments. So for Read by Grade 3 law, you have to use your district's assessment system. Right, so schools have had these in place for quite a while. We know we have our assessment list, our initial and our extensive assessment list, and that within the first 30 days, you have to do some kind of screening. This year, we also have the Return to Learn law, which includes benchmark assessments. And there's going to be a lot of overlap, and we anticipate that's going to cause a lot of questions for districts. So we've tried to sort through what that might look like on our end. For you, on your end, right? We're sorting through. So we know that the benchmark assessments, and again, there is a whole technical assistance webinar on the benchmark assessments. So you should tune into that definitely for all the details. We've sent some memos out and some guidance already from the department. So I'm going to cover it just in terms of what it means for Read by Grade 3 law. The assessments for your Read by Grade 3 are about identifying students' literacy learning needs, specifically in K-3. For the benchmark assessments, your district is looking at determining student progress towards standards and the COVID-19 learning plan goal. So whatever district goal has been set for the COVID-19 plan, these benchmarks are going to take place 2 times a year, once within 9 weeks of school starting and once before the end of school. And there's a reporting requirement that goes along with that as well. So let's look at what some of those assessments are. Again, please be jotting down your questions. We'll take them at the end, especially if they're not covered in this next section. All right, so 104.9, that section of the law, names some assessments, some benchmark assessments. So you see them on the screen here. Those are assessments that are on our Read by Grade 3 assessment list too. So you start to see some overlap already. So for K3, you might already have these in place and continue to use them for K3, for benchmark, and for Read by Grade 3. Okay. Then in 104.10, it names some things that are not, it names some requirements that leads us to Acadience reading. It was formerly Dibble's Next, Ames Web Plus, and any other of these types of assessment that meet that criteria for progress monitoring and enhanced diagnostics. Again, there's some overlap because these assessments are on our Read by Grade 3 lists as well. So you might be using them for K3, and they could also serve the purpose for the benchmarks. So that's 104.9, 104.10, and here's 104.11, local benchmark assessments administered in previous years. So maybe you have something that you're using for K3 that would meet this criteria, which is pretty open, and could be used for the benchmark assessments for that Return to Learn law as well. So there's some overlap. And then just some other considerations. The Return to Learn law really does call for like consistent data from one year to the next. So if you're already using something, we would encourage you to continue using those things. I'll jump down to that third bullet. The KRA has been suspended for this year. So this was a year everyone was supposed to be using that. You certainly can still use it, but it's not a requirement as of this year per the Return to Learn law. And just so you know, MDE has requested United States Department of Education waiver for the state summative assessment. We don't have a response to that yet. So as of now, all of our laws still stay in place regarding those state summative M-STEP assessments, all of that. But we will be communicating as soon as we hear or if something changes. When it comes to the assessments, our best suggestion, especially if you're trying to get creative with students not in front of you, is to think about what questions you're trying to answer. And then what assessment would meet that, what would be valid and reliable for answering those questions. And then the biggest question is, how do you address this when students aren't face-to-face? So if you are using a test that's usually delivered online and maybe kids don't have access to connectivity, then how are you going to administer that? Some suggestions are vendors have guidance for how to do this. So if you have something that's a name brand, please go to your vendor's website, check that out. Another thing is maybe a portion of a test that you're using just isn't working in the way it would traditionally be addressed. Go back to that question. What are you trying to assess, and how else could you get that information? Again, for Read by Grade 3, we're not collecting your assessments, the data from your assessments or the individual reading improvement plan. It's really about what do you need to do to make sure the students are getting the instruction that's going to help them be successful in literacy. We do have some guidance we'll be putting in the FAQ that we've just collected from other states and from listening to different districts on how they're getting creative about their assessments, whether it's taking a mobile computer lab to families, if that's feasible, or having families bring their students in a kind of rolling system, if that's feasible, printing things off. How do you include family members to help with that? Again, realizing that none of those scenarios are ideal or what we want to have happen, but also how do you have enough flexibility and creativity to be able to get the data that you need. The biggest support that we got from experts that we talked to was, while remote administrations are not as valid and reliable as in person, there's still valuable data, and you can use that data. And the caution would be, don't make high stakes decisions with just one data point, which is always the case, but especially as you're trying to get creative with collecting data. So here, just side by side, thinking about the laws for Read by Grade 3, the reporting piece, you do have to deliver information to CEPI, but it's the retention report. If there's an M step where you're just saying which students would move on and which students would stay, and then which good cause exemption would be being chosen. We haven't done that assessment, or we haven't done that report because last year we didn't have the M step, so we didn't have a retention report. Now in the Return to Learn law, the information goes to CEPI, but it's either the data, or depending on the assessment type, that 104, 9, 10, or 11, it's the assessment used, and then what kind of progress was made towards the COVID-19 learning plan goals. So just to plan now, if you're thinking about that Return to Learn law, the reporting is different than Read by Grade 3, even if you're using the same assessment. And then also I would say one note in that law is that with those benchmark assessments, you would have to share the results with the family within 30 days of the first testing at the beginning of the year and that last testing. So just planning ahead for what kind of things need to be done with the data that is collected. And with that, that's pretty much the gist of Read by Grade 3, the questions that have been coming across our desk. I will take questions. And again, just remembering that this isn't all the information about the benchmarks and the Return to Learn law, but we'll take questions if you think that they pertain to what I presented and or something else that you think you'd like to know about Read by Grade 3. So Stacy, do you want to monitor the chat and just share what kind of questions are there first, and then we'll see what other questions are out there?
Sure, I have a couple here in the chat. Kyle Mayer from the Ottawa Area ISD says, hi Brandy, is it 9 weeks or 90 days?
Oh, way to trip me up, Kyle. Is it 9 weeks or 90 days? I feel like it's 9 weeks. Can somebody, Shelly, if you're on, can you clarify that one for me?
I am on, and my thinking was that it was 90 days. So let me go back and look.
Okay. We'll fact check that one, Kyle.
Yes.
Thanks, Brandy.
Yep, Brandy, this is Katie. I'm on two. It's 9 weeks.
It is 9 weeks.
Within the first 9 weeks of school, right? Is that the clarifying question, Stacy?
Yeah. Yep. 9 weeks. All right. I don't know what I said, but 9 weeks for sure. 9 weeks. Fact checked.
Thanks, Brandy. The next question is, if we use NWEA as a benchmark for all students, could we use the NWEA screeners for progress monitoring instead of a separate assessment such as Ames Web?
Yep.
Okay, next question. Can you use the vendor assessment or the progress monitoring assessment or local assessment?
Yeah, so I think we went back to that slide, and again, you can go to benchmark TA or some of the guidance for that, but there's basically 3 kind of levels. There's those benchmarks that are named. There's that second level that have the progress monitoring diagnostic that really in our guidance names and Acadians / Dibbles and iReady, or you could use a local assessment. It's pretty open there. I think that's a question. If not, when we open it up for other questions, please ask.
Okay, next question. I'm not sure about the COVID-19 learning plan. What is that?
Yep, the COVID-19 learning plan is something that's named in the Return to Learn law. And so there is some guidance that came out from the department either earlier, I think it was last week on that. And we will be putting a connection to that in our FAQ. And also there are some TA webinars on that. So there'll be some contact information at the last slide. And if you want to email us, we can send you some of that information so you can get a firm understanding of the Return to Learn law.
Okay, the next question is the sharing data within 30 days for just K through 3, or is the Return to Learn now for all grades?
That is great. That within 30 days is part of the Return to Learn law, and that's about assessing K through 8 students. So it applies to all K through 8 students for those benchmarks at the beginning and the end of the school year.
There's been a couple questions about going back through the presentation because at the beginning of the session we were capped at 100. They did just upgrade our account to allow extra people to come in. I know some of you joined late, but this meeting is recorded and will be posted for all to view. So if you joined late, there's extra sessions that we'll have, and then all of them will be recorded and posted as well. The next question is just to confirm Ames Web Plus can be used for both the Read by Grade 3 and benchmark assessment?
Yes.
And where can I get information on the assessment webinar?
On the
That
assessment
was in that
webinar.
memo.
Yes, it was a memo that went out, and if you can't find it, you can email the contact at the end and we'll send you the dates and times for that.
Okay, the 9-week assessment window does not override the 30-day window. We wanted to hold off NWEA until we are face-to-face at the beginning of October.
Yeah, you still have to, according to the Read by Grade 3 law, you still need to do within the first 30 days that screening. Again, how you collect that information, what would be ideal is that you're starting those individual reading improvement plans right away and not waiting for that in person, as there's kids who probably need support with instruction and interventions before that time.
Let's see, sorry, there's lots of questions here. We alert parents for K through 8 if they are below benchmark.
The K through 8, it says you need to share those results with parents. It doesn't talk about below benchmark or above benchmark. So probably some system for alerting all parents with where their child's at on those K-8 benchmarks.
Who posts the data to CEPI, curriculum director?
I do not know about the posting and the reporting to data at this point. I think they're still working out that process, as this is brand new and for the first year. And those the TA webinars for the benchmarks are going to be the best place to get an answer, but I'm sure at this point they don't have those details yet.
Do we still have to provide the additional resources with students being virtual? It may be difficult to give families the resources.
Can you repeat that, Stacy?
Yes. Do we still have to provide the additional resources with students being virtual? It may be difficult to give families the resources.
Yeah, in some way, and you have a lot of flexibility, districts have a lot of flexibility in how to provide those resources. Again, it could be a phone call, it could be a text, it could be an email, it could be a packet of things that go to the family, whether they pick it up or you take it to them. It can be really flexible on what those resources look like, but something should be provided, and you can look on our MDE early literacy website for some resources if you're just needing something online or something to print out. We've got some things there too.
Okay, and for clarification, will DRA serve as a benchmark for return to learn and read by grade 3?
DRA does not meet the qualifications for an actual benchmark.
Okay, under a remote learning model, can we use assessment tools not initially on the initial and extensive assessment approved list? Or,
All right, say that.
Under a remote learning model, can we use assessment tools not initially on the initial and extensive assessment approved list?
So to meet I would say officially to meet the law of read by grade 3 and the benchmarks, you need to abide by what's in the law. In terms of your assessment system, you may have lots of different ways of collecting that information. And again, what's the question you're trying to answer? What kind of information are you trying to get? And then in what ways can you collect that information, especially during this kind of pandemic space where kids are not in front of you? It's probably more important to get the information and act on that than to just not get the information.
The second part of that question is, can we use screeners, diagnostics, and formative assessment practices per the governor's roadmap to meet the read by grade 3 expectations and feed into the IRIP process?
Yes, yep.
Okay. Where exactly do we look on MDE for resources for additional things used with students?
That is a great question. We're still in Q&A, but I'm going to move the slide ahead maybe. All right, so here is a screenshot of our website. You'll want to navigate over to the left-hand side of the screen to get to the literacy space. And then from there, the read by grade 3 law box. And from that space, right at the top, it says sign up for read by grade 3 communications. If you sign up there, you can get any guidance or resources that we're emailing out. And then below that, you'll see lots of videos, resources for parents, things like that. So that was a great question because I had visuals for it.
Does BAS running records serve as a benchmark assessment or progress monitoring?
That probably does not meet the criteria of a benchmark. So you'll have to fit that into probably a different space on that, on those criteria if you're looking for a benchmark.
And hi, everybody. This is Vanessa Kiesler, Deputy Superintendent. I did want to build on listening to the questions. I just wanted to build on what Brandy was just sharing or what Dr. Bugney was just sharing. Under the return to learn law, and I know she went through this already, there are 3 different types of assessment that can meet the requirement to administer a quote benchmark in the first 9 weeks. Actual benchmarks, that's the Section 9 benchmarks, progress monitoring tools, or local assessments. So I think what she's getting at is things may not be benchmarks, but they still could likely be used to satisfy the requirements of return to learn because it's a pretty flexible law in terms of what can be administered to meet the assessment requirements. And the intent and goal of the legislature and the MDE and the governor's office is that districts find as much alignment between what they're doing for return to learn and what they're doing for read by grade 3 or other internal purposes as possible. So that's why the return to learn law is more flexible and not so limited to certain types of assessments. Thanks, Brandy, for letting me jump in.
The next question is, if DRA is out, are F&P benchmark also out?
So I think that what Vanessa said addresses all of those questions about specific assessments.
Okay. The next one, are there any free benchmark assessments that can be used with remote learners? I know there are extensive ones, but what about benchmark?
Yeah, so the department does have, again, this probably is more into the benchmark TA and supports, but the department has to offer a free one, and that would be the Smarter Balance from DRC.
Okay. We are using the MDE EMLB, and it can only be used by our in-person students. Can we give a different assessment to our remote learners?
You probably can. It sounds like there's enough flexibility to be able to do that. I think, again, what I would be thinking about as a district administrator is, okay, what are we using, and then keeping track of that so it can be reported in whatever the reporting mechanism is for the return to learn law.
Can we use Ames Web Plus Screener for the initial assessment required for the IRIP and for the benchmark assessment required by return to learn law?
Yes.
And then, okay, we can then share this information with parents to meet the requirement of return to learn law.
Yeah, and those sharing the information of the benchmarks fits really nicely into the IRIP process and the communication with parents too. So I'm glad somebody brought that up.
And FastBridge, A-Read, and Early Read qualify for both remote learning and Read by Grade 3.
Yeah, I think what Vanessa said covers that too in terms of specific assessments.
Are the same flexibilities that Dr. Kiesler talked about for Read by Grade 3 too? So can we use something locally determined for a benchmark for Read by Grade 3?
Probably, they're probably not on the initial and extensive lists, right? But as you're trying to figure out this, again, we're not collecting what assessments you're using for Read by Grade 3, and it's more important to get the information and start the individual reading improvement plans and supporting the student. So it probably
really
makes sense at this point.
Yeah, I really want to emphasize what Brandy just said, that that the big part of Read by Grade 3 that's most important are understanding where students are at and then getting those IRIPS going. So if this year you need to use your locally determined benchmark assessment, even if it's not on the list, but it meets return to learn, I think that keeps you in the intent of the law. And again, the big focus is getting kids served and supported. So
if we are running both face-to-face and a third-party virtual program, do our virtual program students have to also take the benchmark assessments?
Yeah, again, this is, I think, part of the benchmark TA, and Vanessa, you can weigh in if you want. The benchmark assessment doesn't really make any amends for virtual students versus in-person students, and all of those assessments named can be given online. So Vanessa, if you want to weigh in on that.
Yep, Brandy's exactly right. And we will cover this in greater detail in the benchmark assessment webinar, but the return to learn law is a requirement for all students K-8, whether they are virtual or face-to-face. And I imagine one of the intents of the benchmarking is to capture the performance of kids regardless of their learning modality. So yes, you do have to offer a benchmark to your virtual kids. And like Brandy said, there are a lot of those products are prepared to be delivered remotely.
Smarter Balance from DRC is only for grades 3 and up. What about K through 2 benchmark?
To me, that's a benchmark question. I don't have the answer for that.
I will answer that, and we'll figure out how we can better merge these webinars maybe in the future. But we do have our MDE early literacy benchmarks for K2 that have been available since 2017 and are still available. There are also some of the other products, and they're named under Section 9 of Return to Learn, do have K2 available as well. But the MDE's early literacy benchmarks, I guess that's just for literacy. So math we'll have to think about. No, those are in math too. Sorry, we have them in K2. We'll make that answer more clear before assessment, but it's basically MDE has something in the space or use another product.
Okay, the next question is PA 149 states, the intent of this legislation is to measure the learning loss, if any, from the COVID-19 pandemic. Clearly, we're still in the pandemic period with no common, uniformly defined end date. If the intent is to measure learning loss, we need a period of time. Since the endpoint is undermined, why is a 9 weeks the maximum endpoint? Some districts may view the first day of school as the endpoint, but for other districts, it may be months away.
Oh, I think the end point is the before the end of school. So the start point is within the first 9 weeks. I wrote it down, 9 weeks, and then the end is before the end of school.
This one might have been answered, but do third-party virtual students need IRIP plans?
Yes.
Okay. There's been a couple questions about when the next webinars are. There has been, the memo has been posted in the chat too. So thank you.
Okay.
for
Oh, great.
doing that.
Yes. So check the chat for that memo. And actually, I'm going to, Stacy, I'm going to move to this contact slide.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask, go ahead and keep putting your questions in the chat. We'll monitor that. I know we were supposed to be done at 9:30, so I just want to make sure questions get captured if we're not able to answer them live on the webinar.
Okay, and then the last one, this one might have just been answered too. It just came in, but MDE K through 2 are only for in-person learners. We are concerned about our remote learners.
Okay, so you don't, for the benchmarks, every K-8 student has to be able to take some kind of assessment for that. So, and then I think we already answered the question of you may have to give different students different assessments, but I think that's a benchmark TA answer. For Read by Grade 3, you may have to use different modes to get that data for the individual reading improvement plan.
And thank you for the question on the benchmarks. I know, I'm not entirely sure that's accurate, but I'm not sure it's not. So we will get better information. And also, like many places, we may have to figure out how to make it available for remote learners because that's our reality right now. So like many of the benchmarks companies are. And I know that with the Smarter Balanced assessments through DRC, that's the plan as well. So again, thank you for raising that clarification. Well, that's helpful to us.
Yeah.
The next question, can you please provide clarity on DRA? Will it serve both Read by Grade 3 and benchmark per Section 9?
Yes. The clarity is yes, it will serve both. There were some questions about whether or not what can be given online and what's in person only, but Vanessa just addressed that they may need to make adjustments so that they can be given online.
DRA is still on the list for the K through 3 assessments for Read by Grade 3, right?
I'll have to check that, but I think it is. Katie or Shelly, if you know for sure, you can pop in.
Sorry, this is Katie. My computer cut out. What was the question, Stacy?
DRA is still on the list for the K through 3 assessments for Read by Grade 3, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yep.
The assessment lists have not changed. The initial and the extension, they will stay the same.
Yes.
Thanks,
So
Katie.
kind of a follow-up to that same question. So are you saying that you can use DRA for K through 3 return to learn?
You could underneath that third section where it says you can use other local assessments.
Right. I think, again, I know we're over time, but just to reiterate, what is a little bit interesting about the return to learn law is that it says everybody give a benchmark assessment and then goes on to qualify 3 different types of assessments, some that are actually benchmark assessments and others that are not, but the intent of the legislature is to allow them to be used for this purpose. So it's a pretty broad, listen carefully to what I'm saying. It is a pretty broad legislative authority to give assessments that are meaningful, either benchmark, progress monitoring, or locally determined. So you have quite a bit of flexibility to meet this requirement, especially if you're basing it in helping your students learn the most they can this year and helping your teachers deliver the best instruction they can.
Yep. And with that said, I think given the time, if you feel like you did not get your question answered, please leave it in the chat and or you've got this email that will come to our team and we will answer these questions as they come in to the best of our ability. And if you are interested in upcoming webinars for the benchmarks, check the chat. Their memo is linked in there with the dates and times. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all your questions and your patience with our answering and re-answering, and just let us know what you need. I think that's it. All right,
Just
have a
one
good
final thought. There's a couple of people asking where this PowerPoint will be housed on the MDE website. Do you have that information?
I'm sure that we will, once it gets posted, we will post that information too. We'll probably send it out through that Read by Grade 3 listserv. So sign up for that, and it will probably go out in the same way that you found out about these memos or about these TA webinars as well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
everybody, for
afternoon.
joining us. We appreciate it.
Great morning. It's only morning. Enjoy your morning.